Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to all the brothers from this work and truth and sincerity. Shalom. This is just a flowing in the spirit lesson. You know, let's see. We are living in the last days, man. It's about that time. It's that time that like I said at camp yesterday, man, the Lord tries your faith to increase your faith. You know, the Lord tests you, he tests your faith to increase it because when he was on the scene, he took certain brothers through certain situations, like Peter, Yahushua himself walking on water, um, walking on water, and Peter wanted to join him. The Lord was actually testing his faith, and Yahushua said, "Oh, you of little faith, man," because faith is very important, man. Let me see if I can get that account real quick. Then I'm gonna get, Lord willing, if I remember, I'm gonna get um what faith is. Oh, it's also another thing I can get. Okay, okay, okay. This is Matthew chapter 8, almost 22. But Yahushua said unto him, "Follow me, and let the dead bury their dead." Verse 23. And when he was entered into a ship, his disciples followed him. And behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea, insomuch that the ship was covered with the waves, but he was asleep. So Yahushua was asleep, man. And I don't want to say, I don't want to say a tornado. I don't want to say a hurricane. It probably wasn't a hurricane. It says tempest. Let's look up what that word tempest mean. Tempest mean. It says a violent windy storm. It says storm, gale, hurricane. So really, um, you could say hurricane, but I don't want to say hurricane though. But it's a great windy storm. It said the definition for tempest says a hurricane, but I don't know for sure it was a hurricane or not, so I'm not gonna say. But it was a great windy storm that arose upon the sea, and so much that the ship was covered with the waves, but he was asleep. So when this great windy storm came, it was pushing the waves on the boat. If you ever seen one of them movies, like I don't want to say Titanic, some movie when they get stranded at sea and it just waves, it's just so big and just all over the place, man. That's what they was experiencing. Bear with me one second. Okay, the waves was roaring and violent, very violent waves, man. That so much that it was the waves was getting on the ship. And this will continue on. Verse 25. And his disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, "Lord, save us, we perish." They was scared, man. They thought they was gonna die, man. And he said unto them, "Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith?" Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. You know, so they thought they was gonna die, man. They didn't have any faith. They didn't believe that they was gonna. They thought they was gonna die, man. If the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai wanted to kill you, He would kill you, man. You know, regardless of when, man. The Lord can kill you at any moment. And they didn't have enough faith, man. They really should have rebuked it. They should have rebuked the wind and all of that, man. They should have rebuked it. Um, what verse was I? Verse 27. But the men marveled, saying, "What manner of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him?" So this was Yahweh Shai testing their faith to build up their faith. You see what they said afterwards? They marveled at it. It's like, oh man, who is this, man? Like, who is this that rebukes the wind and rebukes the sea, man? To actually see that, you would probably marvel yourself, man. You know? Okay, Matthew chapter. Wait, let me go to another example of little faith. I'm just searching in little faith, and it's couple scriptures coming up. Because Yahushua said this a lot. O ye of little faith. He said this a lot, man. Not, well, it's a lot to be for this just two words, little faith. I know faith is mentioned a lot in the scriptures. Um, I'm trying to find the account of Peter walking on the sea. Okay, this is Matthew chapter 14, verse. I'm gonna start at verse 22. And straightway Yahushua constrained his disciples to get into a ship and go and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. So these men, they got inside of the ship and they was sailing. I'm pretty sure they was sailing, and Yahushua was gonna come to them, but the way he was gonna come to them, he was gonna be walking on the sea. Um, and when he had sent the multitudes away, yes, Yahushua sent the people away, he went into a mountain apart to pray. So the Lord went to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone, And when the evening is come, that means it was nighttime. It was nighttime. Because the day starts at, well, it really starts at even. It starts at even, ends at even. Continuing on. Verse 24, but the ship was now in the midst of the sea. So it was in the middle, probably in the, well, who knows exactly what the ship was, but it was on the sea. It wasn't basically close to shore. Tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Yahushua went unto them walking on the sea. So if you imagine this, guy, Akim, just you got to use your imagination. Imagine being on a ship. The waves is, how waves is in the sea. They just, and there was probably, I don't want to say it was a great tempest, but no, it probably wasn't. But the waves was moving a little bit, upon the sea. In the fourth watch of the night, so it was nighttime, Yahushua went unto them. So he went to the ship, walking on the sea. So imagine being in a ship, how the waves is, being in a ship, and you see somebody walking on the sea. Just imagine what you would think that is. Like, oh my God, there's a ghost. You would probably you probably be very scared, man. Verse 26. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled. They were troubled, saying, "It is a spirit," and they cried out for fear. So they saw Yahushua walking on the sea, which they didn't know it was him, because they ain't never seen nothing like that, man. Yahushua, and it's nighttime. Come on, man. That's like somebody, like you go to a pond at night and you see somebody walking on the sea. You're gonna get scared as fuck, man. Verse 27. But straightway Yahushua spake unto them, saying, "Be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid." So the Lord told him, don't be scared, man. Because that's some scary shit. If you see somebody walking on the sea at nighttime, come on, man. That's some scary shit. And Peter answered him and said, "Lord, if it be thou, bid me to come unto thee on the water." So Peter was like, I want to come walk on the water with you, basically. Verse 29, and he said, "Come." So Yahushua said, "Come." So that means Yahushua said, "Come," which means you better put your trust in Yahushua that you will not fall into the water. Verse 28, and Peter answered him and said, oh wait, slot. Verse 29 again. And he said, "Come." And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Yahushua. So he was walking on the water. He was walking to Yahushua on the water. Verse 30. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid. So the wind was blowing hard, and if the wind is blowing real hard, it will blow the water. It will blow the waves, and it'll get kind of gusty, and the waves will get violent. But he was afraid, so he got scared when he seen the wind, blowing real hard. He thought he was gonna fall or whatever, man. Cause who knows exactly where it was at in the sea? That was probably in the deepest part of the sea. You can easily drown. Um, and beginning to sink. So you see how his faith was. He at first he had his faith. He had faith to stand on the water, and when the wind and the adversity, which is the wind, tried him, that was the Lord trying his faith. He began to sink because he got scared. He feared. He didn't. He was losing his faith that he had when he first got on the water. You know, if you can receive it, man. He became discouraged. He doubted. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. He doubted when the wind started coming. But if he would have stayed, strong-minded, when the wind started going real hard, he wouldn't have been sinking. He cried, saying, "Lord, save me." So when the wind, when he allowed that wind to throw off his faith and his faith, he began to sink, and he doubted. Verse 30. But when he saw that it's like verse 31. And immediately Yahushua stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? So he doubted. That's why he started sinking. He let his flesh get the best of him. He doubted that the Lord, could. Well, slot. Take that back. He doubted that he was going to be able to stand up, standing on the water and not sink when the great wind started coming. Because the Lord Yahushua wasn't bothered by it. It was just Peter that was. Because Peter's faith started to diminish and he doubted when that started to happen. That's something that could be used in this time, man. Don't doubt. Don't doubt. Because when you doubt, you start to sink, man. You go down. But when you hold your faith and you have faith in Yahweh Shema Shah, you're going to stay up, man. You're going to float. Let me read verse 31 again, because it's powerful. And immediately Yahushua stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? Verse 31. Verse 32. And when they saw, and they were come into the ship, the wind ceased. So all of that happened to try his faith. All of it. Verse 33. Then they that were in the ship came and worshipped him, saying, Of a truth, thou art the Son of God. And when they were gone over, they came into the land of Gennesaret. And that was really it. I got two examples of, what happens when you have little faith or you doubt the faith, you doubt Yahweh Shema Shah. But and that's also an example of how Yahweh Shema Shah tests your faith to build it. That's what the Lord does. And that's what he clearly just did. He tested his faith. He allowed him to walk on the water. It was like, okay, let's see if you're gonna hold your faith, when this wind started coming, man. And his faith was tested. And he doubted. Because of the flesh, man. The flesh get weak, man. You get scared, man. What am I looking for? Hebrews 11. This is Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. He didn't know that he didn't see that he could be able to slot. When the water and all that started to come, the wind started to raging up, man. He didn't know that he thought he was gonna fall, man. He didn't have faith. If he would have believed that he was gonna stay up and have faith in it, believe it, even though you ain't seen it, he probably would have stayed afloat. For by it the elders obtained a good report. And our elders, that the men that have been before us, who have been laboring in its truth, have a good report of how they showed their faith to Yahweh Shema Shah, and it pulled through for them. I'm going to jump down to verse 6. But without faith it is impossible to please him. So if you don't have no faith, you can't please the Lord, man. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is. How you gonna believe that he is if you don't have no faith in him? It goes hand in hand, man. How you gonna believe in the Creator if you have not seen him? You gotta have faith, man. You gotta have faith and believe that he is here, man. And he is watching. Why? The scripture says it, man. Continuing on, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. It all it all ties in together. You got to believe that he exists. You got to have faith that he does. You know, you got to have faith that he will reward you. It all comes down to faith. You don't see the reward. You don't see it. You don't see the Lord, but you believe in him. What is that? That's faith. You sacrificing everything, your whole life, your whole entire freedom, your life, everything, your kids, son, daughter, whatever, mom, dad, whatever. You sacrificing everything for somebody that you cannot see. That's faith. For somebody that you haven't seen them in this life. You haven't seen them. You sacrificing all of that, and you were relying straightly off faith. The only testimony of Yahushua is in these scriptures, man. One source in the whole world, and it's all off of faith. You gotta have faith, because in this faithless world, people don't have no faith. They don't believe in the Creator. They say, "Oh, God ain't real. There is no God." But the scripture says, "A fool has said there is no God." You know. And soon, very soon, we will live in a world where everybody, from the little kids up to the old age, every nation, everybody will know there is a God. And just because he dwells, he don't dwell on earth. The heavens, the scripture says the heavens of the heavens of the heavens cannot hold the Lord. So just imagine how big he is, man. Just like how big his stature is, man. How big his throne is, man. You can't wrap your head around that, man. You know, because the scripture also says, heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. So if we the Lord's footstool, we like ants to the Lord, man. Heaven is my throne, its earth is my footstool. Just try to wrap your head around that, man. Like the earth actually being the Lord's footstool, man. And you best believe that Yahushua is on the right hand side of him, man. You know, just power, you know, all around him, all brolic, all strong. You know. Just trying to think about it, man. You gotta have faith in Yahushua to put your whole life on the line for this word, man. This word, this book, man. We believe in this book. We want to live this book, man. You know, you gotta have faith in Yahushua, and that's the end game, man. That's everything. That keeps you alive, man. That keeps you going. That keeps you trucking. That keeps you pushing, man. Faith. That's it. Nothing else. Faith. Because faith is the gift of Yahushua. So we're not gonna neglect that gift. Like the scripture says, neglect not the gift that is in thee. Let me get that. This is 1 Timothy 4:14. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by the prophecy with the laying on the hands of the, what's that word? Presbytery, if I'm saying that right. But the point being, neglect not the gift that is in thee, man. That faith. Like, because the scripture says faith is a gift, or is, let me get it. Okay. Ephesians 2 and 8. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of the Most High. So that it is. Once again, hey, this is another precept for Romans 12. I'm gonna start that verse. I'm gonna get straight to the point. Verse 6. Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to our portion of faith. So each brother has a different to the portion of faith. Each brother has a different portion of faith, man. You know, some brothers might have weaker faith than others, man. But you know, each brother has a different portion of faith. So who knows? You know, we all have that that gift, man. That gift of grace through that great gift of faith through grace, you know. And that was all in my spirit. I believe that was all on my spirit to get concerning this video, this type of topic. So with that, man, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to all the brothers doing this work and truth and sincerity. In honor, I'm going to end off with saying Shalom, Kwam Yasha and death to America. Remember, man, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai tries your faith to build your faith. Shalom.